Bro, but to add on to that difference between how good I think the North American teams are versus, let's say, Africa, and I'm not even counting Europe here, because I think Europe is God right now. Just the way that so many teams are playing right now, the level that these players are playing at right now, Europe is there's like a renaissance going on over there. Like they're changing the style of football.
Yeah, they've achieved supreme consciousness over there. They're doing fucking psychedelics and shit. We're fucking smoking crack pipes. We're fucking struggling everywhere else in the
Chile,
world. But
like
man,
Colombia,
Europe is
man,
ridiculous right now.
That's ridiculous. And so the other federation that I've always thought, at least in 2010, 2014, even 2018, could definitely fight, even beat Europe, South America, obviously, right?
Always.
Let's not talk about Brazil or Argentina right now. Let's look at the rest of the teams that have been there. I thought South American teams have always been really good. I'm talking about Ecuador, 2014, Colombia and Chile, especially in 2014, were incredible. Even Colombia in 2018 were really good. Peru,
Uruguay
have been
teams?
so good for so long, dude. So long. The Uruguay have been fantastic. Peru in 2018 were so entertaining to watch. And I think the biggest thing for me when I watch the South American team, at least in the last 3 World Cups, has been their offense. It's different than any other confederations out there. They're just more free-flowing, more offensive, more dynamic. And I think it's one of the only offenses that can truly trouble European teams. If Peru beat Denmark in that first game, who knows how far they go, bro? And the thing is, they were their own downfall. They missed a penalty. It was their own fault. It's not like Denmark just took it to them.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that South American teams have had that ability to take on the best teams in Europe.
Obviously not talking about Brazil, Argentina, but the other teams always do tend
Perform,
to
bro.
at least meet with the European. Uruguay beat England 2-1 just a couple World Cups ago.
Yeah, and
Luis Suarez brace, man.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible performance.
Yeah, England and Italy were both in that group with Costa Rica. Uruguay and Costa Rica went through. And Uruguay obviously had an incredible 2010. Paraguay in 2010 performed the fuck out of themselves and barely lost to eventual champion Spain. There's always been good South American teams at these tournaments. Now when I look at it, man, I'm scared. And this might be catastrophic thinking here, maybe a little pessimistic, but I don't see the same offense, the same fluidity, the same joy that I usually get when watching South American football as I used to. I don't get that now, man. And I was looking at it. I've watched the last, let's say, 6 games. There's only 4 games left in World Cup qualifying for South America. I've really focused on the last 6 games, and I think it comes down to this, man. I think these South American teams that aren't Argentina or Brazil, they no longer have that stud forward anymore. Think Colombia for the longest time. They had a young and up-and-coming James Rodriguez when he, at the time, had to prove himself to the world, bro. What better motivation than that? That's who Colombia had at the time. Any team would have loved that type of Rodriguez. They also had Falcao. They had a young, exuberant Cuadrado just bombing up and down that wing. Now he's 30? You can't do that no more, man. He can't. They had Pablo Armero, these really just dynamic fullbacks. I don't see that anymore. Falcao's 36 or some shit. Who is Colombia's best striker right now? Duvan Zapata, who plays with Atalanta? Sure. But was he as good and dynamic as Falcao? Hell no. James Rodriguez still technically plays, but he's not the same as he was in 2014. That's just Colombia. Let's go to Chile. When Chile were doing really well in 2010 and 2014, winning the Copa Americas of 2015, 2016, they had Alexis Sanchez in his prime, Edu Vargas, Charles Aranguiz. These guys at the time were just in their prime, just dynamic as fuck, slinging balls left and right. Jorge Valdivia, El Mago, such good players. Now they're all old, bro. Sanchez is old now, man. Yes, he's a good player, but he can't do what he used to no more. Vargas is non-existent. Aranguiz is just a solid player in Germany now. He's not as vibrant as he once was. Chile don't have shit anymore, man. Vidal is old too. Obviously, he's good. And that's the thing. These teams aren't bad, but they're just not what they used to be.
Yeah.
And there's been no replacement. It'd be fine if there's like a next Sanchez, not even the next Sanchez, but a guy that could at least imitate him. There's not. Chile don't have that. They still rely on Sanchez to be Sanchez. And those are just those two teams. Uruguay, bro, shambles right now, man. Shambles. Suarez, yes, he still plays in La Liga. Yes, he's still scoring goals. But, bro, have you seen that guy run, bro? He can't run anymore. Cavani's injured literally 4 out of every 5 games. Those are who they're relying on. Suarez still starts for Uruguay. Yes, you have players like Valverde, Nandes, but it's harmless.
At least they got Muslera at back, dude.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They still have Godin, Chema Jimenez. Yeah. It's good, but they're all out of form or they're all too old. And what that equates to is harmlessness, man. You think these European teams are going to be like, oh shit, we got to watch out for a 34-year-old Suarez? No, they'll be like, let's just watch out for him, but they're not scared of him anymore. He doesn't have that surprise factor. Yes, he can still score, but he just doesn't have it anymore, man. Paraguay are literally one of the worst teams right now in South America. Venezuela don't have anything going for them. Even Peru are not as good as they were. Like, they don't have Paulo Guerrero, el Capitan. He's done. They've had somewhat of a replacement with La Padula, the Italian connection. They still have Cueva Carrillo, for example, Advíncula. Yeah, they're still good.
Yotun.
But yeah, Yotun, Trauco, Gallese back.
Come on. I know. It's a good team.
It's a good team. And they still have one of my favorite coaches, Gareca, man. El Tigre. Yeah. But man, there's something missing in that Peruvian squad. But they still do have something. So at least Peru's has something going on.
Too. I was looking through the whole squad. Yeah. They're still like 30, 31. They're not like 33, 34.
Yeah.
There's something there.
There's something there. And then I guess just to finish out this thought, I think Peru definitely still have something going for them. I think the surprise team, though, has been Ecuador. Thank God. Thank God one team has actually surprised me and gone above and beyond what I thought they were supposed to do. When you look at Ecuador's squad, honestly, it's a bunch of nobodies. Let's be honest here. Yes, they have some good players playing in Europe like Moises Caicedo, Piero Hincapié, their center back. They've got some good European players right now playing in Europe. But overall, this team doesn't really have anybody playing like at the top four. Like, for example, when Ener Valencia was scoring like 25 goals in like 20 games. You know what I'm saying about? Yeah. Or Christian Benitez, who was America's best player at the time. They don't even have that, but they're playing really, really well. So whether it's just down to the coach or I think it's both. Coach is doing really well, but just these group of players, I think there's no ego in this squad whatsoever. There's been no root of success either because they didn't make the last World Cup. So they're just kind of playing and it's working. Yeah. So thank God. Yeah. Thank God. I think they'll have that surprise factor. Right now, I think they're in third place, actually. They're right behind the 2 best teams in South America. So thank God for Ecuador. I hope they keep it up because honestly, I think they'll be the best team outside of those top 2 qualifying for the World Cup. Yeah. And I just hope they keep it up.
Yeah, I remember when the 2018 World Cup was coming, I remember I called it the World Cup of Golden Generations because so many teams at that time were at their peak of stardom for a lot of their players. They had the best players, the best crop of players in a while. And that goes to your point of a lot of them, almost all of them in CONMEBOL are on declining. They're declining. Yeah, dude. And what is weird about it is that usually when that happens in CONMEBOL, there's multiple teams rising. But instead of having multiple teams rising, we only have Ecuador, who is an interesting type of rise.
And they're still weird, yeah.
But where the rise is happening, at least what I believe is happening, is in the top 2 teams there already. I think the sides that we're seeing for Brazil and Argentina are the best sides we've seen from them since the time they made the World Cup in 2014. And Brazil, maybe the past 10 plus years.
Bro,
dude, that's where the rise has happened for them.
Great fucking point.
So I do understand Europe isn't looking at CONMEBOL, scared about the more like underdog teams, the weaker teams. But I definitely could see some sort of fear shaping up when it comes to Brazil and Argentina, because Argentina to me is one of the best squads in the world right now. Yeah. And Brazil looks like they're a top 2-3 team in the world legitimately now too. Because we're always talking about Brazil like that because of the name, because of the quality of players. But the way they play and the way they're shaped, I'm genuinely impressed. And I think that they could definitely cause some damage and maybe go on to win their first World Cup in 20 years. Dude, this upcoming cycle.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Great point, because this is probably Brazil's, you just said it, Brazil's best squad in the 10 plus years. Yeah. I mean, like, genuinely. So let's see how good they do this World Cup, because they can't fuck this up. Dude, they're about to break 50 points in the World Cup campaign,
Yeah,
bro.
you're right.
50 points, bro. That's insane.
Yeah.
The third place team is going to finish with like 28.
25,
maybe
26,
30.
some shit like that. Yeah.
So it's just like-
Undefeated, just completely pouncing on the lack of quality on the rest of the table, but still a sign of just how good they are and how good they're becoming. And also just that, like, to go back to the rise, like the young crop of players, the young stars, they're all Brazilian too, which is what's annoying. Vinicius,
dude, everywhere you see Anthony for Ajax
came out of nowhere. Anthony,
Rafinha with Leeds, just
like,
playing good,
it's just
good football right now, man.
Yeah, it's just kind of all coming together for Brazil. So we'll see what happens come 2022.